Before we dive into the world of disclaimer, a reminder to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button if you're enjoying the content. As a media enthusiast, I find myself intrigued by the unfolding narrative of Disclaimer. The character of Catherine, portrayed by Cate Blanchett, is a complex and enigmatic figure grappling with the ghosts of her past. Her life spirals out of control when an enigmatic novel titled The Perfect Stranger mysteriously appears at her doorstep, rekindling memories of one of her most hidden and haunting secrets. The show Disclaimer is adapted from Renee Knight's 2015 book. After his television stint in 2014 with Believe, this is Oscar-winning director Alfonso Cuarón's comeback to TV. Cuarón, who has won 2 Academy Awards for Best Directing for Gravity and Roma, is at the helm of this series. Disclaimer received a commendable 78% score on Rotten Tomatoes, signaling a strong recovery for the twice Oscar-winning actress. Following the flop of Borderlands, the series consists of 7 episodes, with the final episode set to release on November 15. Did Jonathan really die by drowning after saving Nicholas? In Catherine may know a more accurate truth, because in episode 4 of the show, it appears that Jonathan drowns in the Mediterranean Sea while attempting to save Nicholas, a 4-year-old child stranded on an inflatable dinghy. However, the credibility of this event is questionable due to the growing uncertainty surrounding The Perfect Stranger's author Nancy, who has been posing as E.J. Preston. Stephen, who made no changes to Nancy's manuscript for The Perfect Stranger, believes that she somehow uncovered the truth regarding Catherine and Jonathan and wrote it to reveal her. He never entertains the thought that his wife authored the novel as a means to cope with the tragic loss of their son, using the character of Catherine as a sinister adversary to channel her grief, find solace, and even derive pleasure from portraying her as a villain who manipulated and abandoned their son. Are we seeing the real Jonathan, or the book's idealized version? The series could offer a different version of the same story by its end. Following 4 installments of the show Disclaimer, many viewers have been left pondering over the authenticity of the Italy sequences depicted in the series. A key point of debate seems to be the exploration of reality and truth viewed through the lenses of perspective and bias. The characters of Jonathan and Catherine appear to be living out scenes from their own novel in real time within the Italy sequences, suggesting that these scenes might be highly romanticized and exaggerated, potentially even fabricated, right? By its conclusion, the series may present an alternate account of the same story. Why didn't Catherine tell anyone Jonathan was still in the ocean? Catherine figured Jonathan wouldn't be a problem if he were dead. As a movie aficionado, I noticed that it was me who spotted Jonathan battling to keep his head above water in the sea. Yet I remained motionless, merely an observer from a distance for at least a minute. And in the Disclaimer episode 4, it's shown that this delay could have potentially altered the course of events drastically, since Jonathan was moments away from being rescued by lifeguards. What was the mark on Jonathan's arm. A cut could lead to the truth of Jonathan's death. The biggest clue to what might have really happened to Jonathan is the mysterious cut on his inner right forearm, and it's first noticed by his father Stephen as he and his wife Nancy observe Jonathan's body in Italy to confirm its identity. Jonathan could have gotten cut from the pocket knife that Stephen had given him, which is seen during two crucial scenes in Disclaimer, when Stephen finds Nancy's manuscript and near Stephen and Nancy collect Jonathan's belongings in Italy. What happened with Catherine and Jonathan was extremely traumatic. Catherine's side of the story has yet to be told. From Catherine's reaction to The Perfect Stranger, a series that presents vivid images of sensual photographs alongside Catherine's uncontrollable vomiting, it's clear that whatever transpired between Catherine and Jonathan was deeply traumatic. It's hard to pinpoint the specific reason for her response, but it seems either she is grappling with profound grief over what appears to be the worst moment in California and the work of building, depicted up in writing at Apples, and what might have been made by simply making an idea for life, or she is, why are the photos so damaging to Catherine? The photos could ruin Catherine's career and self-image. Catherine had likely never seen Jonathan's photos of her before and believed they would remain eternally undeveloped. Seeing the photographs creates a new monster that Catherine, nearly 20 years after the events in Italy and Jonathan's death, thought could not possibly have existed. Catherine buried her involvement in the affair with Jonathan himself, returning to her successful life and marriage back in London, far away from her betrayal in Italy. How does Jonathan's mother know so much about what happened? It's likely that Nancy filled in the blanks of this story with her pain and grief. In the series Disclaimer, Nancy appears unusually certain and informed about Jonathan's death, suggesting an unnatural depth of knowledge. This conviction towards viewing Catherine as a wicked figure who stole her son stems from a deeply painful place, as Catherine herself acknowledges in episode 4. Given that Nancy relies mainly on secondary sources like news reports and photos, it is quite possible that she created additional details to fit her narrative, filling in gaps and with her own assumptions and fictional elements to find solace and someone to blame during this difficult time. And on a lighter note, I guess you could say that Catherine's life is a real photo finish. She thought she'd gotten away with it, but now she's a bit exposed. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,